Check out some of these hidden gems in my collection. Some you may know, some you probably don't, but have a look. Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hoping a great morning this morning. It is Friday morning. As always, a coffee kind of morning. Cheers, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. I toned my light down. I was told at work yesterday by an Indian gentleman that I work with. I love the guy. He's so funny. Can't understand a word he says, but he's so funny. He said I look too white. My light was so bright and white. That's all I see is my white face, so I've toned it down, so I hope it's okay. But yeah. Oh, what a bunch of coconuts sometimes. So what I've done is I've chosen some amazing hidden gems that I feel from my collection that are hidden gems. These are albums that they're not the norm. You don't hear about them all the time. They're not the mainstream stuff, but they're fantastic. Nice little hidden gems within a group of stuff that we listen to every day, and it's just cool to find these. Some you're going to know, some you're not. This is kind of a take on, I wouldn't say it's a take. Think of it as similar to Larry Graves. I bet you don't own these albums or don't have these albums in my collection. The Canadian Stud Muffin did a few videos on that. Not that I'm copying the Canadian Stud Muffin in any way, but that kind of idea. So I've chosen, I think, 15 albums here. Some fantastic stuff. Some of these are, I hope to find better copies of, because some of the album covers aren't the greatest. But some aren't in print anymore. Some are very hard to find. Some are expensive. So let's start off with this amazing blues band from Canada, the McKenna Mendelson Mainline. This is so good. So good. They put together 4 albums in their lifetime together. In '68, they opened for Jeff Beck Group at the Grand Ballroom in Detroit, and that got them noticed in the U.S. This is their '69 album, Stink. It's a great debut album, released in '69. It's a significant work for the Canadian blues scene at the time. You got blues and rock fusing together. Traditional blues, elements of rock and roll. It's so good. You got One Way Ticket, She's All Right, Beltmaker, Mainline. It's one of their best-selling albums. And they had a pretty successful career in that short period of time that they were together. But this is a fantastic album. It's on the Liberty label. If you don't know these guys, McKenna and Mendelson Mainline, check them out for sure. It's a beautiful album here. This is Shawn Phillips' second contribution. The 4th album by Shawn Phillips, recorded in 1970. Became a platinum-selling album for him. There's a picture of him here. I think this is a gatefold as well. Yeah, cool photo inside. Beautiful guitarist, beautiful songwriter, beautiful singer. This is a combination of folk with tracks like the ballad Casey Diaz. You got some rock and rhythm and blues with tracks like Song for Mr. C. Some great 12-string guitar playing, and some really nice vocals. Songs for Sagittarius. Great hooks and catchy choruses on here. Steel Eyes, great soulful track. It's amazing. It's on the A&M label. Really good stuff. This was a surprise. I hadn't heard this one in a long time. This was a given. Someone gave this to me, and I put it aside. I didn't listen to it. It looked kind of old and worn and stuff, but it turns out this is a fantastic album. A true gem. a true gem in my opinion. This is the Peanut Butter Conspiracy and the album The Great Conspiracy. It's an LA band, psychedelic rock band from the 60s. You got a beautiful songwriter and lead singer Barbara Robinson on here. What a vocal range she has. And Spencer Dryden, who worked with Jefferson Airplane as well as a band member. If you love the harmonies of the Mamas and Papas and the psychedelia of Jefferson Airplane and bands like that, this is the one to get. It is so good. Some amazing psychedelic lead on this one. Some bluesy rock and psychedelic rock on here. This is their second album, 1967 release. Regarded as the band's best album. And it kind of solidified the sound in psychedelic music. These guys are right in that era of great late 60s psychedelia. It is so good. So good. It's on the Columbia label. The album cover is a little worn, but the vinyl sounds really good. I'm so happy with this one. So happy with this one. I've been listening to that one for 2 or 3 days in a row now. It's also a nice surprise. This is Kingfish and the album with the same name. American rock band originally formed by Matthew Kelly, singer, songwriter, guitarist, harmonica. He co-founded Kingfish with new writers of the Purple Sage, bass player Dave Torbett, and other musicians like Robbie Hodendot on lead guitar, Chris Harold on drums, Mick Ward on keyboards. Unfortunately, Mick Ward would die in a car accident a year later after this was formed, and replaced by Barry Flast, another keyboardist from San Francisco. And they became more well known when they got this guy called Bob Weir, who worked with the Grateful Dead. They joined the band, and Matthew Kelly actually was a musician on the Grateful Dead album Wake of the Dead. Or Wake of the Flood, sorry, not Wake of the Dead. Wake of the Flood. Bobby Weir was on their Kingfish's first 2 albums. This one here and Alive and Kickin'. When the Dead started to tour again in 1976, Bobby Weir left the band and replaced by Michael O'Neill on lead guitar and Dave Perper on drums. This is really good. This is really good. It's a pleasant sounding album. And that typical bluesy rock feel to it. It's on the United Artists label. And the fact that Bob Weir's on this one just makes it even better. For sure. And then we got some traditional English folk rock from Fairport Convention. This great English folk rock band formed in '67. You got guitarist Richard Thompson and Simon Nicol, bassist Ashley Hutchins, and drummer Martin Lambell. They were influenced by Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, that type of sound. They were nicknamed the British Jefferson Airplane. And then Sandy Denny joined. Beautiful vocalist. And that just changed the band. She steered them towards more of a traditional British folk music. And that's what this album is all about. This is Rise for the Moon, the 10th album by the band, 1975 release. Unfortunately, it would be the last album that Sandy Denny would appear on. But she was influential in changing the sound for the band. But beautiful Island record label. And then when she left, and I found this one in the summertime, she formed Fotheringay. This is an amazing album. Someone took care of this one when they had it because they put it in MoFi sleeves. It's on the Carthage label. Another British folk rock band formed in after Sandy Denny left Fairport Convention. Fotheringay is about Fotheringay Castle, in which Mary Queen of Scots was imprisoned. That's how the name came by. This is a beautiful debut album by the band. Um, you got her husband, Trevor Lucas, on here, Gary Conway, Jerry Donahue, Pat Donaldson. Includes 5 Sandy Denny songs on here. One song by Trevor Lucas. And then it got a couple of traditional Bob Dylan tracks on here. Too Much of Nothing. And also Gordon Lightfoot's The Way I Feel is on here as well. It's a beautiful album. The album cover caught me when I was digging. And that's her there. She's quite short, actually, if you compare to the rest of the band here. But, yeah, the Carthage label. Really good stuff. Every album I've seen of this one has the same faded cover. I don't know if that's how it just happened. This one's beat to hell, but the vinyl still sounds good. This was a VCLT as well. This is the Illinois Speed Press. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. You've got Paul Cotton, who later joined Poco, and Cal David, another great Chicago bass player, or California bass player. Amazing double lead guitars on some of the tracks. Combination of psychedelic rock, country rock, and blues rock on here. I don't care if the album cover is faded. It's on the Columbia label. It is fan-freaking-tastic. Blown away by this one. It is so good. It rocks. It rocks. Nowhere near what Poco became. I love Poco, by the way, but nowhere near that. It's more just hard rock and psychedelic blues rock. Some great lead licks on here. It's awesome. Awesome stuff. Canadian band. This is the Pied Pumpkin String Ensemble and the album Alamode. I've never seen this label before. Squash. Kind of a cool looking label. Band formed in Vancouver in 1973. Excuse me. You got Rick Scott on dulcimer and vocals, Joe Mock on guitar and vocals, and Sari Ulrich on violin, alto sax, flute, and vocals. It's a great folk rock album with some great tracks. Lotus Eater Blues, Sundial, There 'Twas Her Tam, Bless the Kind Heart, A Fear of Flying, Swing the Ting, The Juggler and the Fawn, and Yodi Dodo, or Yodi Doodoo. It's an amazing album. Just a better look at the band there. Just a great combination of music on here. A pleasant album to listen to. Cool stuff. We lost this gentleman not too long ago, I guess in August of 2025. Mr. Terry Reid. Nicknamed Super Lungs. The English musician, songwriter, and guitarist. Combination of hard rock, folk rock, and soul. He did everything. Robert Plant thought his voice was flexible, powerful, and controlled. Graham Nash was saying he could have been a gigantic star, which he'd never really peaked. He began his career in 1960. He worked around British clubs and stuff. He became part of Peter Jay and the Jaywalkers as lead vocalist. They opened for the Rolling Stones in '66. And then Terry Reid was a solo supporting act for the Stones, Cream, Jethro Tull, Fleetwood Mac. He turned down offers for Jimmy Page to become the lead singer for Led Zeppelin. And also Ritchie Blackmore wanted him to become the lead singer for Deep Purple. Imagine what those two bands would have sounded like with him as lead vocalist. I don't know. They'd be different bands, definitely. This is the fifth album by Terry Reid, Rogue Waves. It's a great rockin' album. It's on the Purple Capital label. Amazing musician that didn't really peak. Although he was offered all these big gigs for sure. Imagine again what those bands would have been like. This is a nice gem. This is Teegarden and Van Winkle and the album But Anyhow. Music duo, American music duo. You got Skip Van Winkle, who plays keyboards, pedal bass, vocals. David Teegarden on drums and vocals. They formed in Tulsa. Oh my God, I've got notices coming out of my ears here. They worked with Bob Seger occasionally. They produced an album with Bob Seger. Teegarden actually joined as a drummer for Bob Seger's Silver Bullet Band and recorded 4 albums with Bob Seger between 1972 and 73. Knapp put his own band together, consisting of horns and female vocalist Sheila Chambers, and they became pretty big. Robbie Kruger formed a trio, the Robbie Kruger organization, featuring Knapp on electric organ and keyboards. But while they were together, they put this great album together, 1969 release. But anyhow, probably their best album. You got rootsy rock and soul jazz combos on this one. You got a great opening gem from the track Annie Had a Baby. Kind of sounds like the band in a way. Bluesy take on Jimmy Reed's Bright Lights, Big City. They do a great cover of Season of the Witch by Donovan. I love their harmonies on this one. Their vocals blend so well together. Great album. Again, an underrated gem. How about the Fugs? This is a nickname for another word that I can't say on YouTube. Yeah. It's a rock and roll garage band, folk rock band, psychedelic band from New York, formed in '64 by poets Ed Saunders and Tule Kupferberg. They were leaders in the '60s underground scene with the American culture, counterculture, and of that decade. They were known for their comedic, satirical, and explicit lyrics. There's some interesting lyrics on this one. They also were against the Vietnam War. So they did all kinds of stuff on here. This is Tenderness Junction, the 4th album. It's on the Reprise label. This has more of a rock sound than their previous stuff. Still mixed with humor, sexual themes, protest tracks like Tune In, or Turn On, Tune In, Drop Out. You got Wet Dream on here, which is kind of a parody of the Platter-style teenage love songs. You got Queen of the Prom, Sitting on the Throne, and Sitting on My Face. But the wildest track on here, the weirdest track, is Exorcising the Evil Spirits from the Pentagon, August 21st, 1967. It's a recording of the anti-protest track at the Pentagon. The Fugs were chanting, "Out, demons, out." They held a love in. They had all kinds of stuff going on. The second side of this album is kind of weird, but it's a pretty good album altogether. But yeah, this is the Fugs. This is the Fugs. Nice folk rock album in Michael Cassidy. This is Nature's Secret. I think this is a different cover. This is the U.S. pressing. And you don't see this label too often, a Golden Lotus Records label. It's beautiful. Nice energetic tracks on this one. Some lyrics seem to have a religious theme to them, even though it's not a Christian album. Nice acoustic guitar, backing tracks, soft, gentle flute sounds, synthesizer-driven tracks. You got banjo, cello, congos, flute, clarinet, some tasty lead guitar work, some keyboards, some great tracks like Come Along and Sign of Surrender and Spirit of Reason. Nature's Secret, the title track, is great. Oh Thoughtful Men, nice way to end the album. Really cool stuff. How about something from French Canada? I can decipher some French, but I'm not French speaking in any way. But this is Octobre. the amazing hard rock, progressive rock, and jazz rock band from Montreal, Quebec, formed in '71. It's the first French-speaking Quebec group to integrate progressive rock and rock together. They became an opening act for King Crimson in '73. They never made it quite as big as Harmonium and Beau Dommage, two amazing French-Canadian bands, but it did leave a mark on the Canadian, Montreal Canadian, or the Quebec progressive rock scene. This is their 1973 debut album, Octobre. It's on the, I think that's REA or RCA, but this is an analog pressing of this one. Great sounding album. Can't stand a word that they're saying, but I don't care. The music is amazing. I've got 2 copies of this one. Another Canadian band. Unfortunately, they only put out 1 album. This is Chimo. This is a sealed copy. This was a gift given to me, and I'm going to keep it sealed. But I was fortunate to find another cover, another album of the same title. It's on the Revolver label. These guys, so the name Chimo is Inuit, or Eskimo for the word hello. They're a Canadian jazz rock, fusion rock band from '69. They played with some of the biggest acts when they all came to Canada. They played with Chicago. They played with the band Janis Joplin. They played with Alice Cooper, Iggy and the Stooges. It's a great sounding album. It's unfortunate that they only put out the 1 album, and they didn't. It's hard to find any information on this one, but it was a nice surprise. And finally, I've shown this one before, but I'm going to show it again because it's a nice little gem. This is Wendy O. Williams and Wow. Of course, Wendy O. Williams, best known for being the lead singer for Plasmatics. You know, her onstage theatrics, partial nudity, exploding equipment, firing a shotgun, chainsaw guitars. This is her debut album while they were, the Plasmatics were kind of on hiatus. And she was actually nominated for Best Female Rock Performance for this album in 1985. It's a hard rockin' album. There are a lot of heavy metal influences on here. It's nowhere near anything like the Plasmatics. Produced by Gene Simmons. I don't know, I've never heard that guy before. He also plays bass as Reginald Van Helsing. That's how he's listed on the album. You also have Michael Ray, who was also the lead guitarist for the Plasmatics. And he also worked with Kiss and Motorhead. Reginald Van Helsing, as I said, on bass. You've got backing musicians. Ace Frehley's on this one. He plays lead guitar on the track Bump and Grind. Paul Stanley plays guitar on Ready to Rock. Eric Carr plays drums on Legend Never Die. Then you got Mitch Weissman on piano on Opus in C minor 7. And Mickey Free plays acoustic guitar on Legends Never Die. So it's kind of a Kiss-related album, which is kind of cool. It's on the Passport Records label. Nice little hidden gem. So there you have it, guys. There's some hidden gems in my collection. If you know these ones, put them in the comments below. If you don't know them, I try and recommend to find some of these for sure. And have yourself a great rest of the day. Love you all. We'll talk to you again soon. Bye now.